Federal troops went into lands owned by the Cherokee Indians. And this is what these are. Remember, Jerry Newsom, the name of Lucretia's parents she could not remember. 1880 census. She was born in Tennessee. Henry was a beautiful woman with hair.
We'll do one more. This is gonna be an Ed Pearson story, and it makes me think about. This is another reason why I want to document, archive a lot of oral tradition in the family and stuff like that, and get things uploaded to this cloud. You know, just get the family history in order. We were having a discussion when I was over at my grandmother's house about how, when I was looking through a lot of paperwork and, you know, we were going through books and family history and stuff, and, you know, my cousin was over there. I think I mentioned this before, but she was talking about how, like, we usually, for some reason, we always have the mama side of the family's information, paperwork and stuff. And they were like, yeah, we noticed that. You know, we noticed that. And it was several other people in the room that said the same thing. Like, man, we got stuff on our mama, but we ain't got stuff on our dad. You are of your father. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't have as much, so that's something I want to find out. I want to find out more. I pretty much almost forgot about looking up all that potential land that my dad may have. I forgot all about that. That's a lot of counties, man. That's like 100 and some counties. I'm definitely not gonna be able to do that during the workday, but I guess I could put in a half hour a day. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot, man. But anyway, I think about a time when that sparked my interest about history. I was going to MCTC. My dad took us there. They had a program where it was students to do your teeth. A dental student or internship or something. This was at MCTC. I didn't know what it was at that time. But I learned more about it later on. So there was this brother. Kind of reminded me of Miles Davis a little bit. Tall. It looked like he had the little, not like a perm, but he had the pressed out hair, something like that. That's what I remember him looking at. Dark skinned cat. Looked like he might have been in his 40s or later or whatever. I think he was a student there. And I went to go get my teeth. It was like the only time he took me to get our teeth done. They just didn't take us to the dentist. I don't know why. That's something that you need to do. But they didn't take us a lot. But this time I went. And it didn't cost nothing. It was like a student program or something like that. So, you know, they did my teeth and stuff like that. And I don't remember anything bad happening. And he was, you know, my dad talked to people. So he's talking to this brother. And they going back and forth about some history or whatever. And the brother, I never forgot this. The brother says, I don't give a F about nothing else. I care about my roots. I seen the look on my dad's face. He didn't really talk about his roots too much. Not really. He'd talk about certain stuff that happened to him in Mississippi when his grandmother had that property. He'd talk about that. And then my aunt told me more, the one in Chicago. So, but the way he said it, he was so convinced. And it looked like, I don't know if they looked like they were going to get ready to have an argument or whatever, but I don't even know why they were talking. I don't even know what the conversation was, but it had something to do with that. So they were talking for a little while because he would talk to people. And so his concern was his lineage and his roots. That's what his concern was. And I remember him saying that, and I never heard him say that. And so they didn't talk to us about that much. And I think because they were just busy as parents or whatever, and they wanted us to, you know, but I don't know. They didn't really talk to us about that, but that was one story I can remember. And so I started digging just about Black history. I dug and I dug and I dug and I read and I read and I read, and I started seeing a lot of stuff that they didn't tell us, or either they probably didn't read. So we were the generation that was into, okay, all right, John Henry Clark, Malcolm, resurrecting these icons and looking at them at the lens that our parents and the generations before us, they didn't really present that. They might have did it in passing, or here's a movie, but I'm talking about dig. Like we were our age, 80s babies, we dug. That's how we were able to find the I want to check king versus the I have a dream. They tried to sanitize that as children, and they did that intentionally. The school system, that is, they did that intentionally, because they could have showed us that I want to check. They didn't want us thinking like that. They just wanted it to be all lives matter, kind of, yeah. I guarantee you, they saw that. There was an education system across America that saw that I want that check. When I go to Washington, I'm coming to get that check. They saw that. I know they did. Because they have access to those archives. We probably just didn't know enough to really look and dig. Because you got to go to the library for some of these things. You got to look at the reel and put the tape, and then look under the projector with the bright light. And you really got to look for some of this stuff. And so when people start digging that up and putting it on the internet, see, we have the internet now, so there's still things that's being digitized, and there's still things that, there's videos that people have and all kinds of different stuff. Man, there's probably some stuff in people's houses that will blow you away. There's some stuff probably in people's houses that will blow you away, that will eradicate all the lies about our people. Talking about what we don't know, and we're lost, and we don't know anything. We didn't do anything. We don't have a culture, all of that kind of stuff. And we used to think, even just watching Roots when we was a kid, they talked about in passing different people, but far as and that's why it was important as a kid when I researched James Fortin. I'm like, oh, this brother made sails. He modified sail making techniques, and he had that bag too, and he was trying to shut slavery down. So, but no, when he said that, he said, I don't care about nothing else. I care about my roots. And I remember that, and I was like, man, that was an interesting conversation. I never forgot it. So that's another Ed Pearson story that I'll tell y'all. But I'll upload that, and we'll talk about that another time.